This is an essay on nonviolence and original sin. Nonviolence generally occurs when majorities have their way already, when minorities want to change that and haven't the power for direct revolt, when violence would not be effective for a number of reasons and so forth. Nonviolence requires more civilization and culture to attain, while the brute and untrained thing is to take the bone away from the other dog, if hungry, analogously speaking. Humanity fights over the bones of prosperity, and laws to create general nonviolence for the masses are implicitly predicated on the state's exclusive right to use violence. India today is one of the world's nuclear powers and accomplished that by ignoring the non-proliferation thesis popular after the Second World War. Original sin is pervasive in human nature, and that includes violence, unfortunately. One hopes that the intellect would prevail in civilization generally, and right principles and goals would be the norm. Yet consider the methods of the Mohammedan suicide cultists in seeking to conquer Iraq. How many non-violent Shia and Sunni should endure detonations by others annually and feel non-violence is the right response? Only through faith in Jesus Christ and a higher goal of eternal values might freedom and non-violence simultaneously prevail. Perhaps for all circumstantial repressions of the expressions used searching for liberation from oppression tend to be sublimated under the necessity to do so by a higher power's presence. Humanity generally misunderstands what original sin means. It is more than a moral failing or tendency to do wickedness. It is the human physical condition for itself with a physical drive compelled by existence. The human characteristic of requiring food and shelter, sex and human relationships, even body temperature and physical timing cycles in relation to everything from gravitational fields to sunlight and night bring humanity to act not only in ways that create friction and conflict, intentional harm to others, from Nazis to Stalinism, Al-Qaeda, and Bolshevist atheism, but in unintentional and complex relationships, failures even unintentionally caused. Violence often is the result, including cold-blooded institutional violence. Original sin may be overcome only through a transcending relationship to Jesus Christ that provides a borrowed grace of God that guides the Christian according to God's determined purposes within a priesthood of believers. Adam and Eve may represent biological, theistic, evolutionary epochs, and yet they may have existed in a Garden of Eden in a perfect form in another space and time, and then translated after the fall into the evolved world in a form less than that of their prior perfect existence, without aging, disease, birth, or death. It is certain that the sort of perfection required for perfect nonviolence amidst ungoverned individuals does not exist amidst any known human social group. Of dozens of forms of alternate hominids that may have existed on Earth, only Homo sapiens remains still. There is a reason for that, and why other animals are endangered. Gorillas, orangutans, and jaguars are endangered species, as is human life on Earth itself.